All right, so I'm going to talk a little about the use of ChatGPT for dietary analysis. So it's kind of like a tool that is pretty available now, and if you're not used to it, it's something I'd probably recommend you could bring into your analysis of your day-to-day eating. So you might be at this point where you're just like, I'm not losing weight, yeah? It's just like, I'm not losing body fat. You might be in your 40s or your 50s, and it's just not moving. Generally, it's your diet. There is the resistance, there is the cardio, that part of it. But what I find with most people is they're sort of eating a lot more than they really think they are. And that's where things like ChatGPT can be really useful, because you just write in what you've been eating all day and then you log it in, and you can kind of do it periodically during the day to see kind of where you're at as you're tracking. So I might start the day and I might write down I had 80 grams of rolled oats, and I had an egg, I had, protein powder or whatever's going on. And I get to maybe midday and I've consumed 800, 900 calories. And maybe I'm in a cut, so I'm starting to lean up. So I'm wanting to maybe hit, for me, that's like, I don't know, 2.5 kind of range, 2,500. For a female, that might be more about 1,800. For a bigger guy, it might be even more, like 3,000. And so I can see where I'm at. I'm kind of like, all right, I'm at 800. I want to hit about 2.5. I've got about another 800 to play with. I like to eat a lot in the evening, so I'll kind of have that 800 up my sleeve for later on, kind of around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So I have a big dinner, lots of protein, maybe some sort of like dessert. So if you can kind of start to use it, it's going to be a really useful tool for you. You can use like calorie calculators, you can use different kind of apps as well, but in all honesty, you can just use a free version of ChatGPT and pretty much get most of that job done. Let's say we're trying to drop weight. Maybe we're at a certain weight or body fat percentage and we're not going anywhere. So generally, there's no magic here. It's not like the gods are against you. Yes, there can be some metabolic stuff as you're getting older, but most of the time, if you analyze your diet for a day, I guarantee you're eating more calories than you think you are. There's a lot of hidden calories in certain foods, especially a lot of so-called health foods. So what we want to do is go for lower density kind of foods, less kind of high density foods, which are a lot of things like that at cafes. And we can kind of push out our calorie burn a bit. So this is where the cardio comes in. So I might go, all right, I'm going to do half an hour cardio every day. It doesn't have to be too hard. It could be, say, 600 calories an hour kind of effort. So 300 in 30 minutes. But now in a week, that's 2,100 calories down. Plus I could pull my calories down about 200 a day from where I'm at. And all of a sudden I've got 500 a day. I'm losing around about half a kilo of body fat a week. Now, it's not hard to get to 600 calories an hour. If you're at a gym, you can put a treadmill on a 12% incline and walk at about 4.5 kilometers an hour and you'll hit 600. You can do it on a bike, you can do it on a cross trainer. Stepper's very easy. I mean, you can sit on a stepper at level 5 and hit 600 calories. It's more intensive, but it's possible to push it up to around 800. I wouldn't recommend going much harder than 800 calories an hour because there's general recovery aspects. You're kind of dipping more into your muscle glycogen, not so much your body fat. So I would recommend sort of the stepper. I mean, you can use it up to, say, level 8. And you could have a shorter cardio session, maybe 20 minutes. With resistance training, in all honesty, resistance training doesn't use a heap of energy. Like when you're doing it, it's hard and you're accessing glycogen, but you have these rest periods. It's more anaerobic and there's a more of a burn after as well. But ultimately, cardio is where you're going to get most of the high calorie burn and working around your food and pulling the calories down slightly. So we're just going to keep it super simple. I want to lose body fat. How am I going to do it? Number one, keep a food diary for 3 days. Look at it on GPT. If you're not losing weight, you're going to have to decrease your calories. You can eat less density, or you can just pull the calories down through smarter choices. So let's say you're on 2,500, you're not losing weight. Pull it down to 2,200. Still keep a diary to keep yourself honest. Set yourself a period of time of about, say, 6 weeks. Then add some cardio, 30 minutes a day, around that 600 calories an hour range. You can do it outside, walk some hills, brisk walking on the beach, light jogging, swimming, whatever as well. It doesn't have to be the gym. And you can bring in some resistance training. It doesn't have to be fancy. That resistance training can just be anything quite simple. Compound movements, presses, squats, machines, free weights. It's really up to you. Maybe 3 sets, 12 reps, 30 to 45 second break, 10 minutes of cardio at the end, 10 minutes of cardio at the start, maybe 3 times a week. But in all honesty, in that resistance training session, which will probably last about 40 minutes with a little bit of cardio at the end and the beginning, it's about an hour. You're probably going to hit about 300 calories, maybe 400 if you're pushing it. So let's say your goal is to be active every day, be it cardio, be it resistance training with a little bit of cardio. Pull the diet down slightly, be honest, keep a diary, put it into ChatGPT and see that you're hitting those targets every day. You could increase your protein a little, so around that sort of, I look at about 2 grams per kilo of body weight. I'm 80 kilos, so I hit around that sort of 160 to 180 range, a little bit more because I'm older and I find that I need a little bit more protein because I'm not taking it up like I used to in my 30s. I would recommend don't get caught up with weighing yourself too much. If you're going to weigh yourself, do it on a weekly basis, and it may take a week or more before things start to kick into gear. So the first week you might not see anything. Then all of a sudden the wheels start spinning and the weight starts to come off. But it's more about how do you clothes fit? How do you look? So for me, I used to weigh 78 kilos. I'm now actually 82 kilos, but I have less body fat. People come up to me and say, hey, you've lost weight, I don't know. But actually I'm heavier. I'm about 4 kilos heavier than I used to be. So this is where for females especially, don't get freaked out, don't get freaked out on the scales. How do your clothes feel? How does your bum look? How do you feel? What's the commentary you're getting? That's what really ultimately matters. But set yourself a goal, 6 weeks, no excuses, tick the boxes and stay consistent. There's no magic here like social media, the internet's there's this. 99% of the time it's not. You're just eating too much food, you're not doing enough cardio, you're not consistent, you don't actually know how many calories you're taking in. That 1%, there's a thyroid issue, there's a metabolic issue. They do exist, but they're pretty tiny. So 2026, don't fuck around. Just give yourself 6 weeks, see what you can do.